In stark contrast to 2 years ago, Kotozakura is dominating Kotoshoho in their stable practice sessions, besting him 8-2 on Friday, with plenty of firm inside grip and the odd parry at the rope. "I'm still not up to full speed, still working within limits," Sakura said. "But despite the lack of workouts on tour, I don't think my sumo sense has dropped that much." His pursuit of a maiden title continues, and all my recent challenges have served as experience builders. "It's important to keep staying true to myself," he said. Fellow Nishonoseki grouper Tamawashi fought his first practice bout since July at Takadagawa stable yesterday. He does not join winner stays on during tour time these days. Despite beating Shonannoumi 4 times straight, he claimed his balance was all over the place, and asked Coach Takadagawa for advice, correcting his knee placement as a result. After 10 practice bouts overall, Washi was of course asked about his upcoming bid for a new sumo record for successive bouts fought. "I can't do all this alone, you know," he humbly replied. "It's mainly down to my support network. And especially Coach Kataonami, it seems, who, it's just been revealed, talked him out of the only withdrawal he'd ever planned to make, thus literally saving this record bid. Having fallen heavily on his left knee back on July 2016 day 10, the Eagle was left in too much pain to stand. But come the following morning, his coach felt able to tell him, 'If you can walk, you'll be alright.' And Washi not only walked back to the ring, but won 4 of his 5 remaining bouts. But all these successive bouts have left me with no end of injuries," Tamawashi continued. "My fingers often end up pointing in different directions for a start." Sparring partner Shonannoumi was keen to dismiss his practice defeats. "I'm experimenting all the time," he claimed. "Just going by trial and error." After collapsing from 3-0 to 7-8 last time out, he said, "I need to control my impatience to win whenever my score looks good. I must focus on what I'm good at, not what looks the easiest move." Elsewhere, Wakatakakage looked sharp in a practice with Wakamoto Haru and the visiting Kitanowaka and Roga at his Arashio stable, charging with venom, arm blocking well, and slicing through for inside grips. This followed his posting of even scores against Onosato and Hiradomi at the previous day's all-stables practice. "We've not much time left till September starts, but I'm still trying to up my condition in incremental ways," he said. "I do feel I'm bouncing back when I look at the rankings chart, but that is just a sideshow. I must focus on the nitty-gritty." Having grabbed 11 wins in July, Takakage has played down talk of a second title. His new salaried colleague Daiseizan fought 16 times overall, 10 against stablemate Kotokuzan, visiting Hokutomaru and teenager Wakaikari, and 6 more against the visiting salaried trio of Kitanowaka, Roga, and Nishikigi. "They're ahead of me in terms of power and skill, so I'm simply trying to catch them up," Seizan said of his decision to fight all those higher rankers, and he was thrilled he could force out both Roga and Nishikigi. "Until now, I've just been watching these salaried practice sessions from the sidelines," he continued. "It's just nice to actually be in one of them, as there is so much to learn." Daiseizan has only been wearing a white practice sash since his second-tier debut was officially printed last Monday. "There's a different atmosphere now, which I'm gradually getting used to," he said, "and I'm steeling myself for the salaried level responsibilities coming my way." What stood out most, claimed Spornichi, were his 6 straight bouts with Wakaikari, more than one of which ended in a draw, and a hearty request to fight again from the plucky younger man. Wakaikari took on the likes of Wakatakamoto and Kotozakura as well, fighting 16 times overall, and received technical coaching from Wakatakakage in a highly productive session. He's still to post a losing score since leaving Saitama Sakae. Meanwhile, at Otake Stable, did Oho fight 16 times against brother Mudoho and Daishinkai, coolly winning the lot. Overall, it feels alright, but my reactive movements need some work, was the big man's verdict. Blasting my opponent back several feet is my ideal way of doing things, but I often take too long to get into stance, so I'm working on ways to speed that up, he then explained. Because of my height, he continued, it's sometimes hard to get low down enough to easily win by thrust out. Hence I'm working on belt grips too, as there are some guys I know I can beat that way. I've got to make use of my size at times. He contests this September at his highest rank yet, but claims he's unfazed as he's faced all the big names before. Finally, as for official weigh-ins last week, Onosato is 1 kilo up on May, while the 2 Ozeki are 3 kilos up. Takakeisho and Terunofuji, who missed the May weigh-ins, are currently carrying this poundage. The heaviest salaried man is 206 kilo Tsurugisho, 44 above the average. The lightest is 117 kilo Midori Fuji, 45 below the average. And the tallest is Kim Bozan, 10 centimeters above the average.